There's a lot of investors in this league. One investor, been trying to keep quiet about, his investment in the league ever since his comments that he made about a young rookie. Pretty much, had him in the headlines for about a month and a half. That is Geno Auriemma, dog. I'm here to tell you, he's part owner of this league.
Recall Geno Auriemma's statement that Caitlin Clark wasn't cut out in the karma has a cruel sense of humor, according to the WNBA. The self-described basketball star Geno Auriemma imagined Caitlin Clark, the player he conducted business with, holding the one card that may save everything as Guru watches his unmatched investment fall apart like a house of cards. However, she isn't playing like...
Earlier, they actually had odds that, she was like third or fourth in the betting odds to be MVP of the WNBA. That's such a slap in the face to every WNBA player. It's unbelievable, right?
The adage, you reap what you sow, is applicable here. AR is suffering a significant financial loss and a decline in ratings as a result of his criticism. Clark, meantime, is occupied with disproving him with each WNBA record-breaking performance and discussing a dramatic twist.
We got an update on the unrivaled ratings for last Friday night, and well, as you can expect, they unraveled, as I like to say. Not good. I mean, we're basically at half the ratings now of the debut week.
You know how some people just can't stop themselves from making bad decisions? Well, Geno Auriemma is giving us a front row seat to his latest blunder.
The UConn coach, riding high on his college success, believed he had found his next golden ticket with unmatched. But let me tell you, this investment is turning into an epic disaster. You know how some people just can't stop themselves from making bad decisions? Well, Geno is giving us a front row seat to his latest blunder.
We've got an update here from one of the owners of the Unrivaled, and let's be real, this league will not make it if they don't get Caitlin Clark involved. And I think they realize that.
Let's establish the scenario. Flushed with confidence, Auriemma chooses to invest his time and money in this new women's basketball league, believing he has the magic touch that makes everything he touches turn to gold. However, the twist is that the league's entire success depends on star power. And guess who isn't playing ball? That's right, the one and only Caitlin Clark.
You guys don't remember? Asia Reese said she was also the draw. Did you guys forget about that? The hottest woman basketball player on the planet isn't involved in the Unrivaled, and weeks in, ratings are down under 100,000 viewers. So where's the lie? What am I missing?
Auriemma is most likely pacing his office right now, keeping a close eye on those viewership numbers. Let me tell you, they're not just low, they're embarrassingly low. We're talking about a sharp decline from 300,000 viewers to barely making it to 100,000, which is equivalent to walking from Madison Square Garden to your neighborhood YMCA. Everyone engaged is perspiring cold sweats due to the free fall.
Geno Auriemma could be the reason why Caitlin Clark is definitely not joining the Unrivaled 3-on-3 basketball league.
This isn't just Goo's problem anymore. It's become a full-blown financial catastrophe, and the league's business model, which looked so sound on paper, is now looking about as solid as a house of cards in a hurricane. It's not just ARA feeling the heat. The other investors are also starting to perspire.
They've got to back up the Brinks truck. I mean, I know they offered her $1 million, which I think was roughly like 3 times what I think most of these players are getting. I think they've got to get much bigger. I think they got to give her $10 million to play in this thing. I know some people will laugh at that, but you've got no chance of turning a profit if you don't get Caitlin Clark involved in this.
You must question what Auriemma was thinking when he signed those checks. Did he truly believe he could create a profitable league without the star power of players like Caitlin Clark? It would be like attempting to make a blockbuster film without any A-list actors. Sure, you might have a fantastic script, but who would be interested in seeing it? Speaking of Clark, it appears that she made the right choice in declining an unmatched offer. They allegedly offered her $1 million for just 8 weeks, which is a significant sum of money, but Clark saw the wider picture, understood her worth, and knew where she wanted to take her career. In the WNBA, Mark.
Not going to get the ratings, which in turn is not going to give you the revenue. the advertisers won't be there, right? You got to think about this.
Now that ARA's investment is beginning to look riskier than a half-court shot at the buzzer, you can almost imagine him watching Clark dominate in the WNBA, knowing that she could have been the saving grace for Unrivaled. That must have hurt, especially given how much he has criticized her in the past. But let's take a moment to look at the numbers. How much did Geno actually invest in this venture? This is the kind of investment that could have funded numerous college scholarships or purchased a small island. You have to wonder if Auriemma is regretting some of his remarks about Clark now that he cast doubt on her abilities, and now she's the one thriving while his investment collapses. It's like watching a live lesson in karma play out on the basketball court.
We're very happy that she's not doing Unrivaled, as, to stick it to the people who treated her poorly.
However, this is the truth. This entire circumstance is highlighting a serious problem with the way certain people see women's basketball. ARA and the other financial supporters misjudged their own capacity to draw in top players and underestimated the significance of having real stars in the league. They believed they could just throw money at the issue and have a successful league overnight.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest, we can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip.
Remember how Caitlin Clark said no when everyone thought she was going to make a ton of money with an unprecedented narrative twist? Let me tell you, it's not just about the money. There's a full background here that Geno Auriemma and his investor friends didn't anticipate.
May be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not
I imagine this unmatched offers Clark a deal that would force most of us to quit our day jobs right away. We're talking about 7 figures for a few weeks of play, which seems obvious, but Clark isn't having it, and believe me, there's much more to this story than just a fat paycheck. Let's go back a little. You know how Geno Auriemma couldn't seem to stop talking about Clark. Yes, those remarks didn't mature like good wine. Rather, they became some quite bitter grapes for old Geno.
Delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's 3rd or 4th in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning.
Auriemma once said that Clark wasn't made for the physicality of professional basketball. Fast forward to her rookie season, and Clark is not just surviving, but thriving. We're talking 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game, which is not just good, but historic. Now, put yourself in Clark's shoes for a moment. You've just finished an incredible college career, and you're dominating the WNBA, and all of a sudden the guy who doubted you wants you to save his new league. Talk about awkward.
Anna said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a...
However, it goes beyond simply disproving Auriemma, even though, let's face it, that probably feels pretty wonderful. Most of us would need a snooze due to Clark's hectic schedule. Looking at it, she just concluded a record WNBA freshman season, is coming off a deep run in the NCAA tournament, is juggling speaking engagements and endorsement deals left and right, and let's not forget, she is a human being who needs sleep.
Decided not to do Unrivaled, even though Aaliyah Boston's doing it, Lexi Hull is doing it, Kate Martin is doing it, and despite all the rumors, and I'm sure the push that was put on her. But Clark has all the leverage in this situation, and I'm not saying she flexed it, but she was comfortable enough in her position to make the decision, and it appears that answer is...
As they say, burning the candle at both ends. Clark isn't going to ruin her entire career to make Auriemma's investment appear favorable. According to people close to Clark, she needs a vacation from her busy schedule, and it's extremely hard to blame her. However, this is where things get intriguing since it goes beyond rest and recuperation. Experts say that Clark's decision to turn down Unrivaled could have some serious long-term implications for her career because she is demonstrating to the world that she values her health and long-term success over a quick payday. It's a power move, plain and simple. There is this whole respect thing that has been simmering for so long. Why would Clark help the very people who doubted her? It's like if your high school bully asked you to help them win the lottery.
Ask you a basketball question. I know that you work really hard in the off-season. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this off-season?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room. So that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then, obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate that it's my job.
For a moment, let's discuss the effect on Unrivaled. Without Clark, this league would be like a birthday celebration without cake. Yes, people may go, but it wouldn't be nearly as thrilling. Without Clark's star power, analysts predict that Unrivaled will struggle to draw in casual viewers because she is more than just a player. She is an entire event in and of herself. Now, I understand what you're thinking, but what about all that money? Well, here's the thing about Clark. She sees the big picture, and a successful, long-term career in the WNBA could mean far more in the long run than a quick cash grab with Unrivaled, especially since she earns at least $100,000 per speaking engagement.
Unrivaled. Phantom versus the Lunar Owls. Please rename all of these teams. A .16. You guys know what that translates to? 160,000 viewers. The Unrivaled. Mist versus Rose. 160,000 viewers. Not good. All right, not good.
Plus, let's be honest. Since Clark already has a lot of momentum, followers, sponsorships, and popularity, why risk all of that for a league that might not even exist the next year? As they say, success is the best retaliation. Caitlin Clark took that statement and turned it up to 11. Remember Geno Auriemma saying that fans of Clark were crazy for thinking that Clark would destroy the WNBA? Well, that's true. Clark didn't just enter the league. She burst onto the scene like a supernova. We're talking about a rookie season that left fans, analysts, and even the most critical critics speechless. This wasn't just good. Let's break it down, shall we? This was history in the making, and I want to be among the greatest players in the world someday. I wouldn't expect anything less than that history for the F-rookie. At this point, I think a lot of good will come from it. When you think that the player who supposedly couldn't handle the pro game is out there making seasoned veterans look like they're stuck in quicksand, Clark did something that hadn't been done in WNBA history. She recorded not one, but 2 triple-doubles as a rookie. That's right, the first 2 triple-doubles by a rookie in league history. Clark broke 62 records in her debut season. But wait, there's more. As a rookie, she led the league in assists per game.
I just come out here and try to, play basketball in a way that people love watching, in a way that is going to make my team successful, and the records and whatever, or the stats, that's just what comes.
Analysts have been praising Clark's transition to the WNBA and pointing out that she's not only surviving the physicality, but also thriving in it. Her skill set isn't just impressive, it's game-changing. Now, recall all that talk about Clark not being able to handle the league well.
No, baby. If Caitlin Clark is on the team, it becomes the right team. Because Caitlin Clark is on it. It's like saying Michael Jordan's not on the right team. It's the right team if Michael Jordan is on the roster.
However, Clark's influence extends well beyond the Indiana Fever stat sheet. They are now required to, it seems like Clark is teaching a masterclass on how to elevate a whole sport, and not only the fans are paying attention. SETV games with Clark are attracting record-breaking ratings and item sales that aren't just up but surging. Clark's influence is being compared to that of a cultural figure by her colleagues and commentators. She is not just playing basketball, but also influencing the discourse around women's sports. Each time she takes the court, she is making a message that extends well beyond the game's outcome.
Geno Auriemma, Caitlin Clark again. The world turns It's Caitlin Clark's world. We just live on planet Caitlin.
What's really amazing is how Clark has handled all of this pressure and attention. She entered the league with a target on her back, and everyone was expecting her to falter under the pressure. Instead, she handled it all with a poise that belies her inexperience. This brings us full circle to our friend Geno Auriemma, who is likely watching from the sidelines as Clark is out there changing the game and rewriting record books, realizing he's on the wrong side of basketball history. His remarks regarding Clark's ability to transition to the pro game have aged as well as milk left out in the sun.